Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's Indie Artist Music Hustle with Blonde Intelligence. I'm your host, Miss Ronnie, where I always seek to give you exquisite cranial repertoire. This week, I was watching. I have a couple of things that I'm going to talk about this week. One of them being, I was watching. I think it was the Armand Wiggins show. And if you don't know who Armand Wiggins is, I think he has a very explosive personality. He's a fellow Leo. But in his commentary and some of his comments, they were talking about the Stallion was getting ready to battle with Nicki Minaj. And some of the rap fans' reaction were saying that they was ready for it. And I think the reason why they say that, and I don't know if that's the actual what it is, but the reason why I think that fans say that they're ready for it is because Megan and both Nicki are both known for their lyrical delivery. So I think going up against each other, even not even just going up against each other, but I mean just like a old school rap battle, I think would be like really stupid. Now, I can't say that comparing them both together that maybe they both would have the same type of, I would say, visual graphics because I think they're different in that area. But just to battle lyrically, oh, I think that that would just be great. But I'm going to move on from that because that was just something that I saw on the Armand Wiggins show that I thought, I was like, yeah, that would kind of be refreshing. Um, the Dr. Jackie situation and the responses, especially by Mariah Huck and Buffy. Um, I'm going to say, and I normally just don't directly just say stuff, but I think that that was very insensitive for Dr. Jackie to say, and I know that she did a apology and done I guess it was like a social media video talking about it, and I would say in my story, when I had my first baby, I was young. I was 19. I had just went to the doctor, and I found out that my doctor that I had let a lady die on the table. She needed a cesarean, but they was trying to make her have the baby. And she went into cardiac arrest and she died. And the baby ended up dying too. I don't know if they didn't get the baby out in time or no lack of oxygen. I don't know. I don't know what happened. But I knew that I was not going there to have my baby. And I went to another doctor because I was going to the doctor in the current city that I live in. And I went into labor, and I went in and they was like, well, why are you here? I said, I'm in labor. They was like, are you sure? And I was like, yes. And, so they hooked me up to check, and they was like, yeah, you're having some strong contractions. And they was like, have you been going to the doctor? I was like, yes. They said, so you have had prenatal care? Yes, I have. And they was like, well, why are you not at your doctor? I said, because Tuesday she killed the lady and I'm not going to her. And she was like, are you serious? And I was like, yes. They was like, because we have to have a reason. I said, she killed somebody. And they went and got the newspaper and looked it up because I gave them the date. And they came back and they was like, you were telling the truth. I was like, yes. I said, and I'm not going to her. And I had been in labor all night long. And with being in labor all night long, I only had dilated to 2. So the whole time that I was having all these strong contractions and everything, it was just I just wouldn't dilate. So I knew that I had to have a cesarean, and I know that they say that a lot of black women have to have cesareans not have to have cesareans. That a lot of black women are having cesareans, and some of them they're not making it home from the doctor. And I can really understand that, because when I went in to have my second baby, I had to have a cesarean, and I didn't numb all the way, and I was like, oh, and the doctor was like, I'm almost done, and the anesthesiologist was like, I'm gonna have to put her to sleep. And the doctor was like, I'm almost done. And the anesthesiologist was like, look, I got to put her to sleep. He was like, I'm done. And I could tell that my anesthesiologist, and he was a black guy, was pissed with my doctor, because he was like, if anything had happened. So I do say that at some point, some doctors do practice some type of negligence, and depending on the type of job that you have, you may not need to go back to work. So I think that Dr. Jackie was kind of like out of line with that. And I thought that Mariah was wrong when she said that, because I used to watch Married to Medicine, and I thought Mariah was wrong for telling Jackie, you've never had a baby before, so you don't know how it feels. And when she made that statement about the crying wolf, you have to understand, sometimes your back is going to hurt. Sometimes you're going to have a headache. Sometimes the baby put their foot dead in your rib. You can't sleep on your back. You can't sleep on your side. You definitely can't sleep on your stomach. You might have morning sickness. Some things that you used to love, you can't have anymore. I mean, so there's so many different things that a woman's body goes through having a pregnancy. Even with having a normal pregnancy, it is a lot of discomfort. And I just wish that she would not have said that. But it made me think about it. And so that's the reason why I have it in this broadcast. It made me think about how people, they either was for or against, but how Chrisean Rock gave birth on her live. And I was thinking about it, well, all these things that go on, and all the ways that women feel that they're being mistreated, and in a lot of ways are being mistreated. And that would be something to, if you feel like that, or you want the doctor to be held accountable. Yes, I think that was a great thing that Chrisean did by going live when she had a baby. And I think that maybe more black women should probably go live during birth. So the next thing that I am going to talk about, and it does not matter whether they get back together or not, because that's not even the gist of what I'm saying on this part right here. But I'm going to talk about the Cardi B going off on Offset. I watched a lot of commentary on that from both men and women. And of course, we both have a different take on how we interpreted that. I'm not a licensed therapist, but I do have a master's in counseling. And the death of a relationship goes through the grief process similar to a physical death. I think her going off was a great release for her. It made me think about a song by the Aura of the Kelly. And if he didn't give any other advice to men, he did tell you this. He said, when a woman's fed up, there ain't nothing you can do about it. And what did Cardi say? She said, over and over and over, you play in my face after I helped your ass, and not even a thank you. In my perspective, for a woman to have to jump all the way out of character, you won't get emotion like that from me ever again. I've been in a situation where I have emotionally got out of character, and I was like, I'm not going to do that again. You know, for me, it makes me love you a little less, but you know, hey. If I'm telling you, I'm the type of person, if I tell you I'm tired of your shit, I become the ice queen. I'm going to tell you this little story. I used to date this guy. And I don't think that sometimes and I'm not even going to say men. I'm going to say the person that you're dating. I think that you have to establish some things when you're dating, because I was dating this guy and we had been dating about 4 months, and we wasn't exclusive or anything. You know, we both were free to date other people. And so I asked him one day, I said, we've been dating about 4 months. I said, in about the last month and a half, I've been good. I said, so what are we? He was like, what? And so I repeated it. And he was like, we've been dating for how long? I said, for 4 months. He said, and you've been good for how long? I said, a month and a half. He said, if we was going to have something, we not going to have nothing now. He said, we ain't nothing but smoke in the wind. I said, okay. And he just looked at me, and I was like, because I just wanted to know what we were. If that's the way you feel, that's fine. But I wasn't going to date anymore. So I remember I was off from work, and he had been calling and calling and calling. And I was like, why do he keep calling me? So I answered the phone, and he was like, so you finally answered the phone. And I was like, yeah. I said, because I don't think that you understood what smoke in the wind was. I said, that means no phone calls, no text messages, no see how I'm doing. I said, no. He said, nothing. I said, nothing. Click. And it made me think about Savannah, which was Whitney Houston's character in Waiting to Exhale. And she told him, every time I see you, I just think you're the fucking scum of the earth. I'm like, dude, you just told me that I was smoking the wind. Do you think that I still would want to be with you after that? Hey, I'm not mad at you, no hard feelings, but we done. So R. Kelly said, you can cry a river till an ocean starts to form. And I was thinking about how many times have you seen Offset cry? He gets on there and crying and how he loved her. But how many, you got to think about how many times do you think she has shed tears in private? But back to the lyrics of R. Kelly, he said, but she will always remember because she's a woman scorned. And if you ever get her back, it won't be the same. She cutting the corners of her eyes every time she see your face. Now the trust is out the door. She don't want you no more. But the first line of that song is, I'm standing here looking in the mirror, saying damn to myself. So, as I said before, it does not matter whether or not she take him back. It's like, men know. I remember, I can't remember if it was a Tyler Perry movie or if it was a Tyler Perry play. But the woman was trying to talk to the man, and he was acting like he didn't understand. And so she just let it go. And when she left, he was like, whew, I almost didn't escape that one. And it just made me think about when Cardi said, every time I try to talk to you, you don't take me seriously. I have to go to the internet, because basically he's disregarding her feelings. And so I was thinking about that. You know, R. Kelly told you, when a woman's fed up, there ain't nothing you can do about it. I want to briefly address the Tommy Lee getting into it with one of the passengers on the plane shuttle. I can't remember if it was B with the T or Petty T blog. I cannot remember which one it was. But one of them was making the point that Tommy is who Tommy is. And if she asked the man to get the camera out her face, how did the headlines become that she was making racial slurs when nothing racial was even said? The issue was, keep the camera out her face, because she don't want to being misconstrued by people just taking random video of her. So I do understand that. And so the only thing I'm going to say on that is that people have to remember that celebrities are people too. And do not invade people's privacy like that. They don't always have to have a good day because you're happy to see somebody. So that's all I'm going to say on that. I would say that the headline and the negative press that she got on that was very unfair. I'm going to say on a lighter note, I was watching a TikTok on Ice Spice. She was doing an interview and she was speaking about her mom, and what she was saying was, my mom, she a baddie too. She know what's up. And then they had like a little video of her mom where her mama was listening to her music and she was like bobbing her head. And I thought it was so cute. So I got to send a shout out to Ice Spice and her mom, and for her just having a phenomenal year. Because some of the newer artists that I come out, I look at the style of rap, and I know that, you have like a New York style, you might have a Southern style, and I do, as in like Pimp C, think that Southern rap in Florida is different from Southern rap in Texas and in Arkansas and Oklahoma, and Midwest rap is different. And then you always can tell the West Coast rap, so everybody has their own thing. But I think of the newer artists that came out, I think I like Ice Spice style as one of the best. So, like I said, shout out to Ice Spice for a phenomenal job. And that's all I have for you this week. I want everybody to have a happy holiday because New Year's is coming up. And we just had Christmas or whatever you celebrated. But remember, you can find Indie Artist Music Hustle with Blonde Intelligence on all podcasting platforms. You can find us streaming live on social media. And although my Facebook page got disabled, a lot of the work that I did, the content that was on there, is still there and can still be found. And I don't know how the hell Facebook keep getting away with disabling people's pages and not closing out their banking information and different things like that. So I'm glad that I changed everything. But Facebook, y'all going to be facing some more lawsuits following things like that. But anyway, you can find us streaming live on all podcasting platforms, streaming live on social media. I've been playing around with now streaming to Instagram through the StreamYard platform. I did mess up on it, but that's okay. You also can find us on my website at www.blonde-intelligence.com. You can find your merch there. I do a couple of different things. You can get your trays. You can get your tumblers. You can get your mugs. And I do some t-shirts. And you also can get some custom items. So, like I said, you can go to my website. If you need to get in contact with me, you can email me at www.blonde.intelligence1@gmail.com. And I'll see you next week. Bye.
Hey girl, let me tell you about this podcast.
Girl, everybody has a podcast these days.
But this one interviews new and interesting indie artists. It's called Indie Artist Music Hustle with Blonde Intelligence.
Really? Where can I find it?
It's on all podcasting platforms, streams live on social media.
What'd you say it was called again?
It's called Indie Artist Music Hustle with Blonde Intelligence.
Girl, I'm gonna have to check her out.
Give it a check, girl.